G'day guys, welcome back. And things are heating up here in the round of 16 for the WCS ANZ Challenger. We have got two of the biggest names going up against each other in my favorite matchup in StarCraft, and StarCraft 2 as well. It's iaguz against DemiLove.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this rivalry. How long has it been going now?
That's right.
This is going to be fantastic. These guys meet pretty much every tournament, I feel. And Demi is this super confident guy every time. He's like, I want iaguz's head. And he's yet to get it.
He is yet to get it. I mean, DemiLove has beaten iaguz before, but not when it's mattered. Not at something this high level. It's like, it's a rivalry, but really is it though? It's kind of been iaguz wiping the floor with DemiLove most of the time. When it comes to, I'm not talking about ladder, I'm not talking about small online tournaments, I'm talking about WCS Challenger. This has been iaguz's stomping ground. This is where he sorts Demi out and puts him back in the backseat and says, no mate, this is my tournament, I'm going to Jönköping. But we will see. Is this time for DemiLove? Is it the moment of DemiLove to come back and finally put him in the losers bracket and get himself a really good spot?
You know, I feel like he gets closer every time. Last season was definitely some really hype matches. These guys put on some fantastic series. Demi gets better every season. He practices really hard and he has a really good mindset. He's always pumped up. He's like, yeah, he's ready to go. I spoke to him yesterday. I was like, how you feeling? And he was like, I'm excited. So that's good coming into it, you know?
It's my favorite kind of StarCraft player. A happy boy, a chilled boy, one that's pumped to play the game. And there it is. We have got DemiLove versus iaguz here in the upper bracket. And then we're going to get down a loser's bracket next to what's up. But this one will decide who goes on to tomorrow's games and who has to slog it out a little bit further.
Yeah, so winning this match does secure yourself a spot in the semis of the upper bracket, so it's the nice place to be. I noticed iaguz on the Twitterverse earlier was saying, just one more match and I can have a nice nap. So he's obviously feeling pretty confident about his...
DemiLove's very confident, and so is iaguz.
Yeah.
So it's like...
that's what makes it great, though, yeah.
iaguz really doesn't mince words. He's a very matter-of-fact guy. I've known him for a long time, spent some time with him in Austin as well, as you did as well. He's very blunt. And if he feels like he's favored, he will tell you straight up. And often he is correct. If he says he's going to lose or he's going to win, he's usually right. Like he'll be up against, a really scary European Zerg or something like that, and he's like, I'm going to go down, but it was fun. It was nice to be here. but when he says he's going to win, he also will very likely do it. And he's the second seed here, and that's for very good reason. He's a very, very incredibly well-rounded Terran and a macro beast. And DemiLove has just been looking, like you said, Zeph, better and better every time we see him in these big tournaments.
Yeah.
So, does he have the skills to pay the bills today? Let's find out in the bottom right here from OSC Root. This is DemiLove.
And his opponent in the top left in the red trunks, it's iaguz.
The Guzzler.
The Guzzler, his teammate.
I love that nickname. It's all right. Yeah, they are teammates, both on OSC Root. OSC Root, the most represented team, I believe, in the WCS round of 16. Lots and lots of players for Australia and also India, where DemiLove is from. I think DemiLove's the only Indian player I know of.
Same. I'm scanning back through my mental history of the C region, and I can't think of another name.
Vietnamese one I can think of, and I mean that said, they're very recent. My memory doesn't go back that far. I can't even remember a week ago, Zeph.
Yeah, occasionally we see some of these players that were around in like 2011, 2012 in the C region pop up, and you're like, oh yeah, that was that guy. He was really good. But not so much these days. So it's great to see someone like me and Micah come out of nowhere and be really good at the game, because it keeps it fresh.
Yeah, fresh faces in 2017. It's not something that a lot of people would expect in StarCraft 2. It's kind of like, to Brood War to a lesser extent. Brood War is going to be the Korean players dominating forever. Like I very much doubt we'll ever see a foreigner make the big splash in the modern Brood War stage. But in StarCraft 2, there's a couple of faces every now and then. They pop up every now and then. In the European scene, a couple of players from last year getting through open brackets, that sort of thing, and the big DreamHacks and that sort of thing. But it is generally the old salts, the old guard, as they like to call it, getting through in the end. And iaguz is certainly one of those. Yeah. And it looks like he is going to go for the Hellion opener here. It is sort of like the modern trend in TVZ. iaguz does also tend to 2-1-1 from time to time, because he's one of those guys that, like, if Bjorn does it, then
Yeah.
It's still relevant. Which is not a bad way to go about it. You know, Maru and Bjorn are two players that everyone strives to be if you're a Terran player.
Basically.
Hopefully one day we can grow up big and strong and be big like them.
The dream.
The dream, literally the dream. I would kill for as much skill as Bjorn has in his pinky finger.
Quit my job tomorrow.
Dude. I know, right? So TY, and obviously TY and Bjorn, the four horsemen of the Terranocalypse we're talking about here, are huge inspirations for every Terran player in the Australian region. So we get to play a lot of Korea. We get to watch a lot of Korean tournaments as well because it's around dinner time for us in Australia when GSL is on. Oh, that quick armory here from iaguz. So this is going to be a Hellbat push.
Oh man, you don't see iaguz do this that much either.
This is anti-iaguz. This is not something that you'd expect. And this might just be actually mind game specifically tailored for DemiLove here.
Unsuspecting of the danger nearby. And he did actually open with a couple of Marines as per usual, trying to hunt down some Overlords. And I love the Hellion openings on this map too, because that third base is really far away. It's so annoying to actually spread creep over there compared to other maps. So it does give the Terran a bit more annoying factor when they're harassing in that area.
A bit more annoying factor. I could have put it more eloquently.
Oh, thank you.
Now, we actually have a third base coming up here for DemiLove, and he's droning up very heavily. And we saw that his first 200 gas was put on Ling speed and also on Overlord speed, so he will be able to scout the main of iaguz and see what's up.
But does he go all the way back there?
I think if he should. Yeah, there he goes.
So smart.
So, oh no, he didn't see it. Oh my God, DemiLove.
It's barely in his vision.
No, just barely. Oh, sorry, my screen was really dark. Oh my God, so he does see the armory. And he's going to want spine. Yeah, so spine crawlers are on the way here. Obviously, all he can make right now is Lings and Queens, and they are not going to be good enough.
It is a very last-minute response, though, because it's already marching up towards his front door. I think he might be able to get the cancel on the first spine at the very least, but smartly, DemiLove has built the second one behind it. He's got 4 Queens here to help target down the Hellbats, and Lings are going to wrap around behind on the Marines. He's doing a good job so far. He may just clean this up.
Yeah, the Queen's doing a lot of damage here for the back. The Ling reinforcements coming through. The Hellbats are so tanky, though. And we have another Hellion coming in to reinforce, but DemiLove just with enough here is going to clean up and not take too many losses. He lost a few Queens there, lost a lot of Lings, but Guz is making it happen, Zeph. This is...
Are we sure we're watching iaguz?
Yeah, who is this and what have they done with iaguz? Why are they... I can't believe iaguz let someone else sit on his PC that had similar MMR. Pretty insane. What are the odds here in Sydney? And we see that the armory is spinning, so that's +1 attack on the way for mech units, and he's going to follow this up with more Hellbats and Cyclones.
This is crazy. This is like... My mind is just blown. Years of watching iaguz, and I've never seen...
I actually haven't seen iaguz mech since Heart of the Swarm.
That's it. That's like the last time. And he would do it like once randomly, too. It wasn't like a consistent thing.
And he'd get crushed doing it because he's a fire player.
Interesting choice here by iaguz, and it is a good way to change things up.
This is so smart. Nice positioning here for the Hellbats, getting in between the minerals, tanking a lot of those Lings. They are getting flushed out here by that Queen, trading as much as they can. They do get cleaned up. Actually, I think that was a pretty good trade for DemiLove, all things considered, but had to evacuate the drone line of that third.
Well, third CC is almost finished for iaguz. He's still on par with the workers. I guess the nice thing about constantly throwing units at your opponent that require a little more than just Queens to defend means that they're not droning as hard as they might usually do, but...
Oh God, +2 attack, Cyclone Zeph.
That's so fast.
So many Cyclones.
Man.
Oh my goodness, this is actually disgusting coming out of iaguz here. I don't even know what you do, man. He's going to try and get roaches up, but I guess a really good count of roaches could absolutely hold this. I think with spine crawlers and roaches, it should be okay. But if he waits for +2, I'm not sure how DemiLove's going to do against this army.
That's the thing, like this just gets such fast upgrades, it's unbelievable. I've never seen iaguz do this, and yeah, he's going to have a lot of roaches out, but I do wonder how well they'll fare against this army, because it does pack quite a punch. Like it's easy to underestimate how much you need to take this out.
3 more factories on the way here for iaguz. Gearing up for that next stage of his plan, if plan A doesn't work out. There's a lot of Queens. Ravage is also very, very helpful against mech. They have that extra range. They're a little bit more mobile. They're a little bit softer than the Roach, but they have the mobility and the range advantage, so almost always worth. +2, nearly halfway done for the mech army here of iaguz. With factories finishing up and Tech Labs going down, we'll probably start seeing siege tanks out of him very, very shortly. It's going to be a good addition to this army, considering he's seen the Ravages.
Yeah. And the nice thing about this as well is, like, with the Overlord speed, like, DemiLove's scouting is limited to wherever he passed these Overlords and Overseers. Because the rest of the map is being cleaned up for his, in terms of his vision, really. It's just got visibility of his side of the base more than anything else. He is starting to spread that creep out quite nicely, and that's going to help a lot coming into engaging these mech armies.
It'd be so funny if he drops a changeling. I know that's not mine. I'm not going to make any Marines in this game. But we have actually Widow Mines as well getting made here for iaguz. That's a surprise, actually. I would have thought just straight up like, you know, Hellbat, Cyclone, Tank.
Yeah,
but,
man.
Widow Mines coming in here just as well, just for an extra bit of splash. Why not?
Bit of everything.
I'll have 2 of every animal.
That's it. He's trying to clear up some of this creep, I guess. Gets a scan on that natural base just to see what's going on. The thing about Mech, I guess, is that he's not going to be dropping in these bases. He gets less scouting information because basically he's got Hellions. And if he wants to scout, it's going to have to be with those. So there we see a second scan go down in the main base. So he just keeps tabs on where Demi's tech is at.
There is part of the game where, you know, when mech gets to later stages where you just have a lot of scans because you have orbitals and you don't really care about minerals. It's all about that gas.
Yeah.
All about that gas, no trouble. We have the Broach going down in the Watchtower, so iaguz can take the middle of the map away. This is actually a very action-packed area of the map usually for Ascension and Aya. Both players will battle for this high ground. It's so strong. It's a strong position to hold.
Oh boy.
It looks like DemiLove's going to bring the hurt to iaguz. I don't know if... I mean, I think he's going to take a few siege tank shots and go, maybe not. I don't know if he can actually crack this nut here.
He's ready to go. If he biles those siege tanks well, he might be able to do this, and he's going to move straight in here. The biles do go down. One siege tank falls, the second one goes down, and iaguz is forced to retreat back towards more of the siege tanks, though he is cleaning up a lot of this. SCVs have to come off the line.
Yeah, actually, it seems like DemiLove has just enough here to push through. The tanks are sieging up a little bit late to the party, but he is leaving the third a little open here. Hellbat's coming in to do some drone damage across the map, but a lot more damage was done to iaguz just now.
Very well done. 12 worker kills there to the 7 drone kills that iaguz got on the other side of the map. Still pretty even on the worker count, but Demi has secured himself a 4th base behind this and can start mining from that. The nice thing for iaguz is that he's about to have +3, but not just yet. He's got a little ways to go.
Just straight up tanks will not be able to stop this on their own. They don't have a meat shield. The Cyclones have all been cut into their numbers, and DemiLove's pressing the issue here. Tanks getting cleared out here for iaguz. His army supply is plummeting here. Cyclones coming down to engage, but they've already taken so much damage.
Oh, siege tanks forced to just engage as they are sieging up is really not going to be much of a help. He is cleaning this up, but losing a lot in the process, and Demi is going to have to take a moment to regroup if he wants to keep this up. 10 more roaches in the production tab there. iaguz really needs to re-establish his defensive position at this 3rd base.
Yeah, he's trying to get the 4th up as well. If the 4th gets up and he gets a planetary down there, he'd be feeling a little bit better about his situation, but yeah, you're absolutely right. He's in a bit of a rough spot. +3, nearly done for iaguz. It actually is deceptively long. Making a ton of wall here to try and stop the roach flood, but it is coming through. I think iaguz actually has way too much this time. He should be able to deflect this very easily.
Demi tries to muscle his way up that ramp.
Too deep there.
Yeah. Gee, wow. Man, that looked a little worrying for iaguz at times there. Demi, I think he did a good job. Like, it was a good idea, especially considering how iaguz was powering those upgrades.
This close. If iaguz didn't have that 4th base, would have been G-Jizzle. And DemiLove would have taken game in 1. But wow, it's I actually thought that iaguz was in a lot of trouble when you lost that meat shield, when the tanks were getting taken down, but he had that nice sort of spread, that leapfrog, sort of like one siege tank, you killed this line of siege tanks, all right, there's another line behind that, and there's another line behind that. And DemiLove, he was all in. He had all these roaches and all these ravagers, and there's no follow-up plan, so that is it.
Exactly. Roach Ravager is a good way to go. I mean, it almost did the job, but back at home, he didn't have any other tech coming. He didn't actually saturate the 4th base or anything like that, so he really channeled everything into that force, and oh man, almost paid off. I don't think iaguz ever got that +3 attack either. Like, maybe just right at the end.
Maybe
but
right at the end when the victory screen came up.
Yeah.
+3 just then, but
it was a beautiful timing for Demi to be hitting just before that could actually come in. But man,
chance. It was very, very close. Very, very close.
It was, and it was a weird strategy from iaguz, who just does not touch mech.
I would never expect that.
Yeah.
This has already got my head spinning for game number 1. I'd love to see Demi's map pick here.
Yeah.
To see what, because a lot of these maps are, I guess maybe like, except for maybe Sequencer,
Yeah.
they're smaller than the first season map pool. Like there's no Honor Grounds, there's no Cactus Valley, it's all 2-player maps.
Yeah.
So you're pretty aware of where your opponent is, and it's a little bit tough for Zerg to be counter-attacking and that kind of thing on a couple of these maps.
Yeah,
there are some that are a little open, but I think we touched on it when iaguz first played his series against Peppy, when you and I are casting that. You got to be a little bit weird to beat iaguz, usually. Because he's usually quite standard. But that said, though, first maps turned that theory on its head. He just went for
iaguz decided to be weird.
Yeah, he decided to be weird. So.
And I think maybe that's the way to go, because Demi's been playing against him for so long, and iaguz is that guy that always plays the same strategy, basically. So
it's biomine.
Yeah, and it makes it easier for your opponent to try and figure out the holes in the style that you play. Since pretty much forever. Like, I think he's played the same sort of style since maybe late Wings.
They've been going head-to-head since 2013. Maybe DemiLove started to show up around maybe 2014. I think DemiLove.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, weirdly, DemiLove seems to beat iaguz a little more frequently in those sort of online cups, like those low-pressure situations. But when we hit WCS, for some reason, there's some sort of mental block. I don't know.
Or a composure thing. It's kind of hard to say. We don't really want to talk about composure too much because we're not pro gamers. And
no.
We're making assumptions at that point. We like talk about but there is something that's stopping DemiLove from taking that step and just eliminating iaguz from an incredibly high level tournament.
Yeah, or maybe it's just iaguz is too good at practicing with WCS. I don't know what his practice regimen is like in the lead up.
Well, I mean, I do know that he's been playing a lot of Zerg lately, so. Take that for whatever you want. I mean,
this is a funny thing. Sometimes he prepares for WCS by like playing Dark Souls or something. I'm can you not qualify for WCS when you've done that? It just makes everyone look bad. It hurts me.
Doesn't it? But he's one of those players where it's like riding a bike. He does actually, even though sometimes he's a little bit of a salty Sandra, a little bit of a neggy Nancy, sometimes he thinks that he's not as good as he actually is.
Yeah.
Not to the extent of Probe, of course, but sometimes he does go down in it. He goes down himself, but he is incredibly good, and it doesn't take long for him to get back on the horse after a little bit of practice. And he does he often practices very privately as well. Like he's not very open. He doesn't post his match history. He doesn't do anything like that. Like he doesn't talk about his ladder experiences really, unless like something really funny happens. He's a quiet machine basically.
Yes.
He just grinds games.
Yeah, a bit of an engine room.
He's got an iaguz boiler room, shoveling ladder games into the boiler, and also outcomes of Premiership. Happens.
Yeah, and he's gonna want that seed as well, because one of 2 seeds, because I know he wasn't particularly happy with his performance at WCS Austin.
Yeah, he had a rough group, I think, from memory as well. He was like, but they're people who he would generally do okay with versus online. But when you get to when iaguz has always been, he'll crush this region in tournaments.
Yeah.
Not always, but he'll often crush tournaments in this region and then go to the big international stage and rarely get further than groups.
Yeah.
So he has a couple times, Montreal and that sort of thing, but. It was actually Probe who turned everyone's head in Austin.
Yeah, Probe did fantastically.
Doing well as a Dark Horse for a bit there, and I think he lost a Cham in the end.
Yeah.
From memory. But that tournament, even though it was only 3 weeks ago, is already I've already got my horse blinders on, and I'm looking forward to WCS Jönköping. So
definitely, I think Probe and iaguz could likely be our seeds again. They've been very consistent for like at least the last 4 seasons, I want to say.
Oh god, but Pro was so close to going down to Miyamaka. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I was actually really worried. We're saying a pig outside of the cast, and we're just really worried for Probe there.
Yeah.
It's important for as Australian players, we want the composure of our current champion to be good. But I checked Probe's Twitter, and it's not so good right now.
No, it's not amazing.
It's not amazing. He's not patting himself on the back right now, but maybe after a few more series, let's be honest, he's not going to be happy with himself until he actually wins. In the bottom right here, losing main game number 1. We could very well win this one. This is DemiLove.
And up 1-0 in the series. In the top left, his teammate, also from Root, it's iaguz.
I actually have an OSC Root shirt. It says Maynard on the back. Makes me feel like a pro gamer.
I almost bought one, and I don't remember why I didn't, but I need to rectify that situation.
Yeah, you gotta buy. I think it's because you're saving for that Splice hoodie.
Oh man, I had my mouse pointer hovering over the button, and I was like, but the postage and the price, and I just, I don't know. I look at it weekly.
No, I mean, Splice is literally the greatest right now. They just picked up TY, and I'm like, well, that's one of my favorite players of all time in any esport ever. I'm gonna have to finally take the plunge and get some Splice merchandise.
Let's combine, and we can split this shipping.
Yeah, actually, we could share a hoodie. We're about the same size, right?
Yeah, basically.
So I'll just get an L hoodie, and I can just wear that thing. And
I'll probably just fit in like one of the arms or something.
Yeah. We'll probably wear it together at the same time. Be a real casting archon instead of one hoodie at the same time.
We'd be mad cute.
That wouldn't be weird at all.
No.
So iaguz here going for a regular opener. This is looking a little bit more iaguz-y. Opening with a Reaper here, getting that expansion. And I mean, this could be a 2-1-1. This is not a terrible 2-1-1 map. This is a very droppable main, very pressable third. Natural's a little bit tougher to get into, but we'll see.
Yeah, we do have the Reaper popping out this time for iaguz, so he's not sticking straight to his Marine buddies in the early game.
Okay, no, not 2-1-1.
Yeah, he didn't actually manage to pick off any overlords in the series that we've seen him do the Marine style.
That's the kind of thing that DemiLove knows iaguz is going to do, and he's he was on the ball for that one. Not going to herp derp some overlords into iaguz hunting range.
Yeah, that's right. And that Reaper will check out his opponent's base, make sure everything is in order. He'll see that the speed is coming along. If he hops up into that main, might get himself a drone.
Nice quick trigger finger there from DemiLove, getting that drone saved, turning it into Spore Crawler.
Oh, he's trying for a second one. Man,
it's not too bad. That's actually a drone's worth of damage right there. That's 50 minerals. Oh, gets the Reaper. It's actually quite nice for DemiLove. That's the scouting information for iaguz gone down the drain there.
Yeah, for maybe another minute until some Hellions pop out.
A hot minute.
Yeah, so he's going to be pretty happy with that. One less thing to think about as he powers up with the drones. He's actually getting Overlord speed again. Very much one of these guys that favors that style, so he gets all the information he needs. And that definitely paid off in the last game, right? He saw that armory nice and early, so he didn't get caught with his pants down. Definitely a good way to start.
Yeah, I'm feeling like it's going to be the Hellion Raven push here from iaguz, especially with the Starport, the Tech Lab going down. Looks like it's going to be the case. And DemiLove's going to see this very, very shortly with Overlord speed just finishing up, as Zev mentioned. There it is. Speed and Overlord speed done at the same time. He's going to get deep in that main and see what's up. And, oh, this is cool. So this is something a little bit different. And with that Tech Lab spinning, DemiLove's going to be thinking, hey, that ain't a Raven.
Indeed. I love Hellion Banshee too. It's like my favorite TVZ opener because it's so strong, it's so good.
It's quite strong.
Provided you don't lose anything, that is. But I guess, generally pretty good at keeping those alive.
Yeah, he's all right at StarCraft.
Yeah,
he's not bad.
He's okay. I think he got to Premier like once or twice. So.
Yeah, once or twice or 12 times.
Lost count at this point.
However many qualifiers there's been is how many times iaguz has been almost. Maybe 1 or 2 occasions.
Yeah.
But yeah, so third base on the way here for iaguz. Just going to complete that wall with that CC. This is something I need to do, actually. I need to, in my games, get that third
focus
CC
goal.
Focus goal. Don't take the piss out of my streams, Zev. It's a very serious thing that I try and do, all right? I'm trying to get good. Oh, it looks like did he cancel that? Yeah, he canceled Cloak and the Banshee and got a Raven instead. Oh, no. There's the Banshee. Didn't cancel Cloak, though.
He's just switching it up, being a little cheeky. And DemiLove, don't believe we'll get that information until it flies past an Overlord or something. So nicely done by iaguz so far. Let's see if we can actually get any damage done. He's leaving those Hellions on the other side, so we can maybe try and do 2 places at once. I'm not sure.
It's all about doing 2 places at once when you're a Terran. It's tough to do 1 place against Zerg.
Yeah.
The creep, creep spread, queen count, all those things make it a pretty tough nut to crack.
Exactly.
This is an opening here. This is something that I discovered by accident, that the rocks actually don't completely block that ramp. So the Hellions mosey on in. There's the Queens. And that's pulling the Queens away here. So iaguz is doing a very deliberate move. He wants the Queens to chase these Hellions, to go a little bit deep, leave it opening for that Banshee, but it looks like DemiLove batted that thing away. That's 0 kills on that Banshee, and she is very, very hurt.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Really didn't get anything done. Oh, and it goes down.
Yeah, so that's actually a very expensive unit to go down. So it's a really good start for DemiLove.
Demi's defending brilliantly. Like, he's spreading his creep out. The queens are all over it. You know,
we'll see how he does against this. Auto turret, baby.
Just got to pull away, and you can minimize the damage that will do. 2 drone kills.
Yeah, 2 drone kills, not terrible. It's damage, but it's not terrible. DemiLove still got a nice worker count, 61 drones, gets the 51 here of iaguz. Looks like he got a couple more with that extra auto turret there.
Yeah, he's had a really comfortable time
second Raven.
Getting 3 bases saturated and moving up to that 4th base. So Demi is looking fantastic coming into this mid game.
This is a lot of gas from iaguz on these Ravens here that isn't being put towards, you know, the next stage of the plan. Like, you know, we haven't seen Widow Mines just yet. It's just straight up bio being made by him. And 1-1 is on the way for his bio, so that's not too bad. He's going to look for some overlords. They do have speed, though, so they can get away from harm. God.
He's got to be a little frustrated with the lack of damage that he's been able to do so far.
Ravens, that's 200 gas, Seth.
Yeah.
200 gas per Raven.
2 Ravens, a Banshee, and all these Hellions, and he's got 2 drone kills to show for it. So
that's so much gas. Yeah,
Demi's just done such a brilliant job early on here, and he's actually got some Marine visitors coming to his house in just a moment. Those Ravens get to circle around elsewhere.
There's not a ton of visitors, and these queens could sweep them out the door if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
Do they have medevac support?
Not yet, but he's got Hellions on the front lines here. But even so, like, the Hellions aren't that beefy either. Where are those medevacs at?
The medevacs are just, I mean, when you spend this much gas on things that aren't medevacs and mines, you don't have many medevacs and mines. That's the first 2 coming out here for iaguz. 2 more medevacs on the way.
Yeah.
Do you like my eloquence, Seth? I feel like I'm starting to kick my stride. Yeah, I'm almost as good as just literally my dream. To play as well as Beyond and to cast as well as you is my goal as a StarCraft 2 personality.
All right, 3 more drone kills.
Yeah, this is a little bit better. Couple, you know, 2 auto turrets, 2 places at once, like you mentioned. Hitting 2 places at once is the game plan here for Terran. How about a 3rd place? Those Hellbats coming in with Stim Marines at the back. A lot of creep tumors dying here. But what he really wants is that juicy underbelly. He wants those Ling kills. He wants those drone kills. Got the Banelings connecting very nicely with the Hellbats. The Hellbats are all but taken out of the equation here. But there's still so many Marines.
Oh, he's actually doing a lot of damage here. Those Lings can't quite engage this position. He's going to shred everything at 4th base. Even gets a few Overlords for his troubles.
What even happened here? The Overlord's going down to these Marines. DemiLove! Oh man, 13 drones and these Overlords going down. That's a lot of his supply cap. He does still have plenty left over. The Ravens hitting in another place at the same time. DemiLove was looking in control and then all of a sudden fell apart at the seams by just one quick maneuver there. One swift blow from iaguz, and DemiLove is down to 3 hatcheries.
Oh my goodness, that was insane. Out of nowhere, iaguz cranks it up to 11.
Yeah, there goes his advantage.
Yeah, he mows down how many Overlords? 5 or 6? An entire mineral line and a base, and he's still got stuff left over. He did not lose all of those units.
And this drone's going to die to a Hellbat.
He's got the 3rd base up as well. 4th base is building. 2-2 is about halfway done, so he's looking fantastic. Demi, the upgrades aren't looking too bad for him either. It's just the economy took a real hit there.
He has mutt-mutts, so these mutas, the one thing that he could use to get himself back in the game, they're not even that high in number. They can't kill SCVs. That 10 worker lead that DemiLove had is now iaguz's advantage.
Yeah, and he's still not unsupply blocked. He's making 5 Overlords. He's waiting for that to come out before he can even make the army that he needs to defend against this push from iaguz.
Marauder's tanking the front lines here. Splits from iaguz. All but perfect. GG.
GG.
And wow. Yeah,
boy.
iaguz was getting bopped for that game, and then all of a sudden, he's like, I just threw away 550 gas worth of stuff, doing not much. And I'm like, whoa, that is bad for the Terran. Then all of a sudden, that push on the 4th base, that was it.
Smacked him in the face.
GG rip.
That was not the series that I expected to see out of Demi and iaguz. I expected longer, Ling Bane versus Biomine, macro games. That's usually what we get. And instead we got a mech game and, what do you call that last game?
We call that a messy start for the Terran into an incredibly good end for the Terrans. You know, the most atrocious engagement there, I guess, for DemiLove at that 4th base.
It's very unfortunate. So, unfortunately, Demi will dip down into the lower bracket here, and iaguz will move on to the semis. The semis will be played tomorrow, as that is top 8, so they get a nice relax now.
Might be seeing some more DemiLove today, if you're a DemiLove fan. I very much expect that he's still going to make it through that top 8. DemiLove is an incredibly good player.
Absolutely. So, guys, we will be heading into the bracket.
into the break. See you soon.